So the last topic that we have is actually talking maybe more broadly, about what's happening in society, and probably most relevant to our audience who may be going through school right now, going through college, and actually seeing what is the impact of AI happening in the choices that they're making in terms of what majors that they're studying. So a recent news article actually highlighted that the UC system, which I'm sure it's not exclusively the UC system, but the UC system overall, the University of California, has seen a drop in computer science enrollment. Now, this has been in the backdrop of like a huge surge in computer science education and a big push, certainly from, I want to say, from 2014 onward. And it's just really surprising that to see the impact of AI, but also the impact on students' sentiment towards, oh, what should I actually study? Tula, as someone who's been in the UC system and actually made choices on which to study, what was your initial reaction to seeing this type of headline?
I don't think I was that surprised because there has been so much conversation in the news where I think a lot of it is also people are afraid of AI, and there's this narrative that AI is coming for your job and tech is shrinking, but then it's like, but tech is growing. And so it can be confusing to figure out what advice I think. If I'm thinking as a parent, right, what I would tell my kid to do. And I could see, especially if you're not working in the technology space, but you're seeing all these news headlines about how AI is able to take over a lot of this white collar work and this knowledge based work, you might give your kids different advice on what to do. And then you're also seeing, well, AI is coding all of these things. So why would I encourage my kid to focus on computer science? And then even as a student, if you're thinking, well, tech was maybe something that felt like a safer career path because there's typically higher salaries, right? And the field is always changing. And so if you study computer science, you might be more likely to get in somewhere where you feel like maybe you can make it in your career. And so I think since we're seeing a lot of just societal questions around what is actually monetarily worth pursuing, that is one big angle to this. And are the jobs even there anymore? I can understand why the rate is decreasing. Now, I also wonder, even just from the time where I was at UCLA until now, UCLA didn't have a data science program, and now they do. And so there's also other degrees beyond computer science that are coming out. So I would be curious to see if the drop in computer science is also related to increases in other programs where kids who maybe would have studied computer science are now getting a data science degree, or they're getting a cognitive science degree, or they're getting something that's a little bit more interdisciplinary, because that obviously maybe it's not as bad as the headline makes it out to be, right? So I am kind of curious. I would love to see the actual numbers on some of this across other enrollments as well.
It even in my time when there was not a data science type degree of which I tried to specialize in because I was very influenced by this Harvard Business School article that said data science is the sexiest job of the 21st century. That's a story for another time, but
I
that
think I saw
like
similar ones and I was like, I can't get that degree here yet. So what's close?
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So for me, I took it upon myself if I wanted to break into this type of job that was new or emerging, well, I needed to supplement a computer science education with statistics, with economics, with other disciplines. And I would wonder whether people are approaching it similarly now. Just that there isn't a target of what is the job of the future,
Right.
but it's probably a maybe overall piece of good advice that you should keep your options open. You should study broadly. You should be well read on many topics and disciplines and subjects so that whatever future you do find yourself in, you can at least have some skills and background to be able to tackle that world.
Yeah.
But when I see a stat like this headline, I think it speaks more broadly to the value of higher education for some people. I think a lot of people may be asking themselves, is it even worth it to go to college anymore? Is it better to go to a trade school? Is it better to do something else? Is it better to just start a business from the get-go? What is
Right.
the actual value of education when you see so many stories of people taking out loans, and when they graduate, they end up working a job that's not related to their major, and then they end up having to just fight this uphill battle to pay back loans and do all that. And if it's the case that computer science is becoming less valued, at least compared to what it once was, as strictly a major to enable or give you a job, well, I think each person, each parent will have to ask that question for themselves and make the decision make sense for them. But it's not easy. We're not in a world where it's just like, oh, you want to have a job after you graduate? Study computer science. Yeah, I
Oh,
think that,
right.
yeah,
That is
that
definitely
advice
shifted.
unfortunately has not stood the test of time.
I think it's also kind of funny. I think back to when I graduated, and I remember we were having a dinner with my extended family, and my dad asked me, he was like, "Can you name of all the classes you took, what are the top 5 or 10 that are actually relevant to your career that you've now decided to pursue?" And he was like, "Which courses actually taught you something that you think is to help you?" And it was as much as I love UCLA and I had a great time there and I learned a lot, I think I learned so much more from the clubs that I was involved in because I was in an entrepreneurship fraternity, I was in a consulting club, and those gave me much more applied experience for things that ended up helping me over the course of my career, more so than some of the classes that I took. And I studied cognitive science, and there were a lot of very interesting things, but I think the classes that I took that actually helped me the most were Management 1A, which was an accounting class, which I did not need to take, but I took it because I thought it would be interesting. And then I took a business law class because I thought it's the kind of same thing. I was like, I'm not really going to get another opportunity to necessarily learn this. So I tried to find courses that I could take that I thought might help me more like long term. And then obviously, like my intro to cognitive science class, I thought was super helpful. And even the programming classes that I took, like at that point in time, UCLA made you take C++ before you could even take Python, which wanting to go into data science, I was like, why am I taking a C++ class? I had to take 2 of them. And so it was interesting because even those, like, they taught some of the fundamentals of obviously programming and like how to think about things, but I never used them and I never needed to. And actually, I ended up taking some other Python courses at a community college over the summer because I was able to get into them and they actually had more to offer. And that ended up being way more helpful for me in my career. And so I think you're talking about what is the value of higher education. I think it's still very valuable, but you can't just go into it thinking about my major is going to be all thing that's going to help me in my career. It needs to be more like, what am I trying to learn or get out of this college experience? And yes, how can I study things that are interesting to me and might help me down the line? But you need to realize that there's so much more than just the courses that you take. And the sooner you can get to that applied experience, I think the better off you'll be. And like my advice to whenever people are asking about, like, well, what should I study? Or I'm interviewing and I'm not sure how to get jobs, like, build a portfolio for yourself. Find a couple things that are interesting to you and then create examples. And now, with all the AI stuff that's out there, it's way easier than ever to create something that is very personal and that is interesting to you. And you can use that and talk about it in interviews, whether you want to be in tech or if you want to be in medicine. Like, find something that you're passionate about and then go see what you can create.
A lot of people would say in college, that's where you're supposed to find or build that passion or
Mhm.
discover that in yourself. And I think a lot of people should and do that if they can reasonably afford it and it not becoming a burden to them.
Right.
But yeah, if anything, early on, right, the lesson that I'm taking away, even just for this generation or beyond, is that you have to, in some sense, have agency over what you are going to embark on, what you're going to study, what you're going to do. And that agency doesn't have to start in college. That
Right.
agency doesn't have to start after you graduate college. You can practice that at an early age. You have the tools at your disposal. The crazy thing is, like, the same tools that a PhD expert in their field has is the same tool that you as a young person has as well. And that is incredible. It's eye opening. It resets the playing field for so many things and just allows for boundless opportunity. So for me, I view headlines like this as it is a signal, it's a data point for people in school right now who are even in programs like this. Defined by your program. You're not defined by your major. You don't have to feel like, oh, I've studied this thing and now it's useless. As we talked about before, right? Critical thinking, the ability to see problems and feel like you actually have a way to solve the problems is more important above all.
I couldn't agree more.